freedom wherever there's trouble. G.I. Joe is there. G.I. Joe, American hero. G.I. Joe is there.
Peter reporting live from Texas ComiCon in San Antonio, Texas. I'm here with Tom Feister. Okay. See, JJ miscorrected me. I was saying it right this entire time. He did it to purposely screw me. You son of... Damn it, JJ. Wow. Alright, let's get serious.
Fire.
Yeah. He's not coming on the podcast anymore, JJ.
You don't need it. You're the 10th. You don't need it.
Like what he said. We're going to keep that. It's going to be constantly on the podcast. Alright.
I'll say it again. You're the 10th.
I like it. You did an incredible Robin sketch for me yesterday. I love it. Thank you. I showed it off. People loved it.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
So we wanted to discuss the War of 1812.
Okay,
and,
sure.
The ramifications to this.
All right. Okay.
Something about the British and Americans.
Sure. I'm familiar.
No.
I think Don Henley said it best. No.
Glenn Fry.
I had to throw in an Eagles record since I'm in Texas.
Alright. If you don't know some of the stuff that Tom's worked on, he's worked on G.I. Joe. There. Incredibly talented artist. You can tell them, the people who aren't familiar with you, shame on you by the way, some of the stuff you've worked on.
I've worked on covers for Iron Man, Fantastic Four, Exiles, Captain Marvel, Legion Superheroes, Legion Secret Origins for DC, a couple months ago as a part of the 52 relaunch, G.I. Joe Origins, and the regular G.I. Joe, Witchblades, and the Warriors, and I know I'm leaving a couple things out. I'm pushing that age where I don't remember stuff much. Have we met?
Yeah,
okay.
I think once, maybe twice, something like that. I forget. I think mine has to do with recreational activity.
I have no idea what that means. Really,
rock climbing.
I don't have that stuff got in my room.
Alright, so what kind of advice would you give out to any of the kids? Oh wait, kids shouldn't be watching our podcast.
Yeah, that's true.
Teenagers that listen to our podcast that are over 17.
Stay in school. Honestly, I always ask, like, if people come up with their parent and a kid, and the parent says, what advice would you give the kid because he wants to get into comics? I always say, do you want the truth, or do you want the answer that will make you feel better? And the truth is you really don't need college. You need to educate yourself in art and art history. But most of the guys who are doing this didn't go to college. I did, and I look at people who didn't, and they certainly weren't hurt by not having a college degree. There are some phenomenal artists who have no college degree, but they just were in the trenches and drawing every day. The other advice I give people is, have a sketchbook with them everywhere they go and draw constantly. And don't just draw superheroes. You have to be able to draw women standing in line at the grocery store, or an old guy shuffling down a hallway. You have to be able to draw everything. So don't just draw, half-naked men and women beat the shit out of each other. There's so much more. That's just this much of comics. There's so much more to do. The other thing is, personally, learn how to do every aspect of producing a comic book. It'll help you stay employed, because if there's no work for inkers, then you can work as a colorist. If there's no work for colorists, you can be a penciler. A letterer. There are so many things you can do to stay employed. The other thing I'd say is, as far as learning the other aspects of the business, you're going to be a better penciler if you understand what your colorist has to do to make your work look good. And you'll be able to talk to them about what isn't working, what is working, because you'll understand their process. And it goes with every aspect. Inking, writing. When a writer understands having to break down a story to draw it, they won't give you a panel description with, Bill walks across the room and answers the phone, and then his friend walks in the door, and the clock falls off the wall, and a cat jumps in his lap and makes him jump up and cry. That's like 10 panels worth of stuff, but some writers don't think to break it down there. So so, you know, again, learn everything that you can about every part of the job. Learn how to do a lot of stuff. Exercise and pay your taxes.
Good advice. Because you don't want anything getting impounded. And
yeah. I'm not kidding. Exercise and pay your taxes.
Let's see. What has been some of your favorite projects?
G.I. Joe. I've told this story before, so forgive me if you've heard it. But I met Larry when I was 9 years old. My mom got me a tour of Marvel Comics. As soon as I got there, the receptionist told us that we weren't going to meet any artists or writers, and I was immediately disappointed. And so they took us around offices, and I saw a couple editors. And at 9, I had no idea what an editor did, and why these people were important. The guy is wearing a suit and tie, and is in an office. How interesting could his job be? So at the end of the tour, my mom mentioned to the receptionist that I was a big fan of G.I. Joe. She said, "Oh, Larry's in his office today. Let me see if he has a minute to talk to him." And they walked me back to Larry's office, and it was this tiny little room, and it was any place that you could stick comic books and paper had stuff shoved in it. I mean, it was a fire trap of paper. And Larry spent about 20 minutes with me talking to me about G.I. Joe and telling me about what he did. And then the big storyline at the time was who killed the Heart Master. And he told me who the killer was, like a year before it was ever out on stand. He swore me to secrecy. I never told anybody. Then he handed me like a stack of G.I. Joes. He signed number 1 for me. I still have it. And at the time, it was like a $25, $35 book. Here you go, kid. And just blew my mind, changed my world. And so G.I. Joe was the book that I first started really paying attention to. I was a comics fan, and I love superheroes. And, grew up with all the Migos and the Super Friends and all that stuff. But G.I. Joe for me was the comic book that I really, I'm going to collect this. I have to find out what happens next month because, this is bad. Destro's, Joe is screwed. There's no way they're going to live. I got to find out what happens next. And so getting to work on G.I. Joe years later, and getting to work with Larry years later, it's surreal. It's bizarre to me that I can talk to him, and everything in my life is kind of born out of that the stuff that came out of his brain, so it's eternally good. And also, I love Byrne's run on Fantastic Four. Anything that John Byrne did in the 80s. Later on, I love, what's the question? I'm rambling. I thought you were asking about stuff I liked. Starman. I loved Starman. Justice League. Kevin Byron had views on that. And then Ty Templeton. And Giffen and Mattis. Loved every minute. It's just, I love comics. I can go down the list of, there's a run of this I love. There's a run of that book I love. There's just great stuff out there. It's not all great, but, there are these golden nuggets of greatness that
So, who has been your favorite character from G.I. Joe that you've done?
Zartan. Yeah, I don't know why, but I love drawing Zartan. I can't get back. Zartan in Major Blood. I've gotten to draw Major Blood one time, and I think I just like drawing these ugly, dirty, kind of messed up looking guys. They look like the kind of guy that stumble out of the bar at 6 a.m. and haven't showered in a month and a half, and are pretty happy that way. I enjoy drawing those kind of guys. I don't know why.
And for you personally, who's your favorite Joe, villain, or Cobra?
My favorite Joe, it's hard because there's the guys that you like to draw and there's the guys that you like to read. I always like Roadblock. I always like Stalker. Mutt Junkyard. And some of it's just related to the toys. I grew up in Pennsylvania, so as soon as it snowed, I was outside with Snow Job and the snowmobile, and it was. So it kind of changed too. Again, you're a little kid. You get the water moccasin and the hovercraft. I would take a bath 4 times a day. There was work to be done. There were cobras to be battled, and then that. It's hard to pick. It depends on the adventure. That's one of the other things I love about G.I. Joe is that, you know, no matter what the problem is, there's somebody who is a utility player for that. You know, you got a problem in the north, snow job. You need somebody to get in really quietly. You got Snake Eyes. You need somebody to just blow shit up. You got Roadrunner. You know?
Yeah. Alright, thanks a lot for your time.
No worries, man.
Appreciate
Pleasure
it.
meeting you.
Likewise.
Thank you.
And JJ, again, that was mean. That was just, well, technically he doesn't even work for us. So you're not being hired. How about that?
You didn't hear anything.
I'm not sure. Okay. We'll find out later when it's yeah. Let's see if my tires don't get slashed. Alright. Remember? Knowing is half the battle.
What is that?
Something about PSA.
Is that from Snorks?
Yeah.
I love that show. Those are great.
Never gives up, he'll stay till the fight's won. G.I. Joe will dare. G.I. Joe!